Imagine my surprise when Mark Duplass of Creep 2014 fame showed up in this movie. First things first, I'd like to preface this by saying that I haven't watched the original Backrooms YouTube series. So I came into this movie with a very basic idea of what the Backrooms are and what the premise of the movie was. That being said, I think it worked as a standalone without the added context. Fans will just be able to pick up the extra bits of lore or references I'm sure there are. One of the characters, Clark, says trying to describe the experience of exploring the Backrooms as being like trying to describe a dog to someone who's never seen one. And I think that's a pretty accurate way to explain how talking about this movie feels. It's difficult to put into words. So, how do I dive into this? I suppose I'll start with the general setup of the film. There are two main characters of this movie, I'd say, but the one I feel that we get to know first is Clark. Clark, played by Chiwetel Ejiofor, is the owner of a furniture store with flickering lights and an unusually high electricity bill, which offers a great distraction from his recent divorce and his problem with alcohol. Though he is seeing our other main character, Dr. Mary Klein, played by Renate Reinsve, about those issues. And he can't really ignore the lights when he's now living in his furniture store. That's right. There's no separation from work and home now for poor Clark, almost like he's in an isolation hell of his own creation. So when those lights start up one night, he, of course, goes down to the basement to check out the breaker box, which now mysteriously has 3 illogically placed slanted breaker switches. In frustration, Clark flips every switch, including those strange new ones. As you would expect, every light in the building goes off. Less predictable is light shining from a slit in the wall that's never been there before. As any curious cat would do, Clark feels up the wall and, oops, phases right through it into a seemingly endless dimension of what looks, sometimes, like an empty office buildings, with irregularly planned halls, real-life objects merged into the floor, or sometimes with each other. Just very strange business. Now, I don't want to jump into total spoiler territory quite yet, so I'll skip over some of the things that occur while he's exploring the Backrooms, and switch over to our other protagonist, Mary. Yes, Mary's a therapist, but, like everyone, she's got her own baggage that she has to carry. And her childhood experience dealing with her schizophrenic mother definitely colors her thought process when Clark comes to her talking about the Backrooms. But after he pledges to prove her wrong, then disappears, with only a vague voicemail as a goodbye, Mary feels like she needs to step in to see if he's alright, and stumbles on something she never expected. And that's our basic rundown of the beginning. But how did I enjoy Backrooms? I'll start with the good. A 30,000 square foot practical set. It looked absolutely amazing. Claustrophobic and hauntingly eerie, and how it's a not quite right mirror of real life environments. It's particularly important to me, in this day and age of placing actors in front of a green screen, that they took the time and effort to actually build out the Backrooms. The fact that this idea made it to the theaters at all is special. These days, movie studios love sequels, remakes, live actions, anything that's guaranteed to make easy money. So the fact that someone who wasn't already a big-name director was able to bring their passion project to the screen is great. YouTubers have really been breaking into the film business as of late. Markiplier and now Kane Parsons. It was interesting to see how the visuals translated into being a movie, too. Very impressive for a first-time filmmaker. Some of the shots were totally stunning. And the cast, small as it was, were delivering great performances. They felt like real people, their dialogue was well written. Let's get more into spoilers now. From what I gathered watching this movie, Backrooms is about quite a few things. But the most obvious is what is repeated to us a few times throughout the film. In one of the therapy sessions, Mary says, and I'm paraphrasing this all to the best of my ability, that the brain is an open room full of all our memories and experiences, but that we travel paths that we've learned that might have kept us safe once and might not be serving us now, that put up walls. This is what Clark is doing in the Backrooms. He admits it twice in the movie. He pushes people away before they can hurt him. He thinks he's meant to be alone. It's how he's wired. So he's built not only his life, but now, with his mind paths, a maze of isolation. Because he doesn't want to change. He doesn't want to take responsibility for his actions. Nothing is his fault. It's not his fault that he didn't turn out to be an architect. He has to work this job he hates to support his ex-wife, whom he only shows contempt and jealousy towards because she's chasing after her dreams. But of course, when he's drinking too much, getting too hostile, she's doing him harm by breaking things off between them, not trying to help herself. Part of it is sad, yes. Plenty of people know what it feels like for life to not go as they planned it. But not everyone takes that out on their loved ones. No one has to. Everyone has a choice. This leaves Mary backed into a corner a bit here. She's meant to help Clark, that's her job. But I imagine she's put into a tough spot. 1, trying to help someone who doesn't want to change, and 2, trying to help someone with abusive behavior when she herself was abused as a child. It ultimately shouldn't be your responsibility to quote-unquote fix someone when it puts your health in danger, like what happens to Mary, though many women do end up in that position. Where the film loses me, unfortunately, is somewhere in the later half, I think, where it starts dragging. Maybe it could have been shortened, I don't know. But the pirate mascot lookalike of Clark running around like some jump scare video game really took me out of things. And the reveal of the shady company that's been studying the Backrooms felt very tacked on and unexplored if it was supposed to be so important to the story. Sort of took the wind out of the tension that the setting and mystery put there. Well, I thought it was thought-provoking. Something didn't quite connect with me in the movie like I wanted it to. Too high of expectations? Too muddy of an execution? I'm not sure. I'd love to know what other people think, though. Have you seen it? Do you want to see it? Is there something I missed? I've been to 5 horror movies this year so far, but somehow I've only really loved 2 of them. What's going on? Am I picking the wrong ones? Is it me? I don't know. On a more positive note, I'm planning on renting Iron Lung in June, so hopefully I'll turn my luck around. Anyway, if you want to find me on Letterboxd, I'm The Plasma Pool. Feel free to come judge my questionable taste in movies. I'm also on Tumblr as Micah's Media Recap. Thank you all so much for listening to me rant and ramble. This podcast has been my favorite way of info dumping. Stay safe, don't trap yourself in isolation backrooms hell like our man Clark, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.